Man, we could just be minding our business and somehow, some way, we can become the topic of discussion of the entire internet for some of the most stupidest, but what we talking about? What we talking about?
What the fuck are you gonna do about it, you know?
There is a Latin, rather Mexican rapper. I wasn't even gonna talk about this. I wasn't gonna have this conversation. I kind of wanted to stray away from it because I'm broadening out my page, but nah. There's a Mexican rapper that goes by the name of Mexican OT. He's sort of like Paul Wall, but the Mexican version. I've heard some of his music before. He got some dope tracks, I'm not even gonna lie.
Do you feel like you could say the N-word?
He went on Angela Yee's podcast and said this.
I feel like I can't say it, but not because of that, and I'm gonna tell you why. I wish there was some black dudes in here.
There are.
Not.
Okay, well, we're gonna use him.
Okay, that's my manager. Hey,
Because
Will.
me and Fee know what's up.
Well, you're.
What the fuck are you gonna do about it, you know? And then second of all, I grew up loving these motherfuckers. I grew up fighting with them. I grew up eating with them. I grew up fucking doing bad shit with them. I grew up loving with them. You know, I got family. And it's not even about family. Even if I wasn't related to nobody else black, I mean, well, shit, it's what the fuck I was surrounded by, you know?
Now, before I really go in on this conversation, you know what I gotta do. I got to go to the culture vulture voice.
Now, first things first, I really need to know, if you noticed, let me know in the comment section, who were the Negroes in that room when he said, what you gonna do about it? But wait. Do me one small favor. Hit that like button and apply pressure to that subscribe button.
I wish there was some black dudes in here.
There are.
That's first. We need to know who those Negroes are in that room.
Not.
Okay, well, we're gonna use him.
Okay, that's my manager. Hey,
Because me
Will.
and Fee know what's up.
Well, you're.
I'm not saying they had to do anything violent. There was a few things they could have done. Violence should always not be the first option. If I was in a room, I'm telling you right now, no offense to anybody. I'm not even gonna say no offense because it's starting to seem like people don't care if we're offended. But what I would have done is I would have said, it's okay, WB.
Take hip hop. We've talked about this on the show before. You have African American rappers saying N-word this and N-word that, but a Caucasian can't.
So say it.
Now, first of all, there is a history of Latins using the N-word.
It's like this, dog. Like they say, you know, if somebody calls you a long enough, you start believing you're a
Down.
So imagine calling yourself the N-word day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out.
But you see so many of us doing it, you know.
But listen, though, but that's not.
Well,
I mean,
you know, us as brown people.
yeah, us. No, listen.
You know, it is us.
Listen. I believe it was a trend, but I see it dying now slowly.
We all know this. One thing that I don't like is the media likes to put the Latin community together. I've lived around Puerto Ricans and I've lived around Mexicans. I've lived in LA for most of my life. And I'll tell you right now, the Mexicans and the blacks in LA do not get along like that. I don't care about no Tupac song you done heard. I don't care about no Kendrick Lamar song you done heard. I know they get along in the Bay Area. I've seen people say that in Texas they get along. Cool, fine and dandy. Man, do that in Texas.
People be saying Mexicans shouldn't be saying the N-word in their song, bro. Holding the Mexican flag and saying in the song, bro. What do you think about that, bro?
Man, that how we is down here in Texas. You know what I'm talking about? That's how we talk. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Other places, they don't understand that shit. But in Texas, that's just how we talk. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, that's my favorite word, to be honest. I say that every sentence. You know what I'm talking about? That just...
I just saw a comment from a dude that said he from Texas, and it's culture for a Mexican to say down there. And my first thought was, where? Because I'm from Texas, and that ain't the truth. And then I started racking my brain, wondering what would make somebody lie like that. Then it hit me like Princess Di hit that tunnel. That has to be a coping mechanism for a Negro that grew up in Lubbock. Only a brain steeped in the misery that is dreaming of being a Red Raider your whole life can produce that kind of malarkey. If you are not from Texas and you are not familiar with Lubbock, all you need to know is Patrick Mahomes spent 3 years down there, and that's where he fished up that fried chicken ass white girl. If you are black, you do not want to go there. That is hostile territory. They believe Jim Crow was progressive.
Now, in LA and New York, I lived in both cities. This is common to see these groups using that word. And I will admit, if you are going to fight over that word, those are two places that you're gonna be fighting on your own.
How do you feel about like Mexicans saying the N-word?
I don't give a damn. I don't care. I ain't gonna lie to you. Cause it's like, it's a word. We call each other. So like, you feel me? I don't give a damn if they say it. My people's Mexican too, so it's like, I really don't care. I don't give a damn who say it.
In Oakland, they like that. But when you're a rapper like Mexican OT, at a point you become national. And the thing about it is, what he's done is he's placed up a decision for each and every one of y'all to make on your own. Me, I don't really appreciate it. I'm not gonna listen to it. His music is not that dope where I want to sit there and listen to a Mexican refer to me as an N-word. When I was in high school, we would use that word. But you know what? When other races would come into the room, we wouldn't say it anymore, right? Now it's become something where they're trying to make it universal. And me, I'm just not jacking it. I'm not.
That Mexican OT is a prime example of why I actually do not go back and forth with non-black people of color about saying the N-word, because one thing about it, we all got slurs. So if you comfortable enough to say the N-word, especially around me, I hope you're ready for me to take you to Slurs R Us. Baby, if I was sitting in one of them chairs and he said, what y'all gonna do about it? He would have been every refried, kidney, lima, fava, chili. Would have thought I was making a 20-bean soup in that.
I'll tell you like this, Mexicans and Latins and other folks that are not black. There are other blacks that don't like other blacks calling them that word. There's a history behind that word where people have died.
Boy, let me tell you, the Mexicans got it bad too. But let me tell these Mexicans something that say, don't you know I know some Mexicans that don't like to be called, because they don't even like. What the they don't like. I'm not a and they don't like to hear the other Mexicans say that word and refer to themselves as one.
Right.
And Mexicans said, I said, you know what, well, this mother turned into wildfire.
We're the only ones that don't say the N-word, you know?
How do you guys feel about the N-word? How do you guys feel about Mexicans saying the N-word?
That's out. That shit's out. Honestly, hey, no disrespect to the homies up in South Central, because, you know, you grow up around blacks and shit, but right here, 626, you say the N-word and you didn't grow up around blacks, so you say the N-word, you're a weirdo, homie, straight up.
If you've ever thought about investing in a YouTube page, check this out.
Ever want to invest in a YouTube channel? Now you can. On my Gigastar offering page, you'll see how much of my channel's future revenue I'm seeking to share with you. This is an SEC regulated offering. Check out my offering page with Gigastar for all of the details.
I'm not black, I'm Mexican, and I'm an essay, so I'm not gonna say that. It's cool to talk right there, I guess it rhymes with certain shit. Instead of saying young whatever, I'm gonna say young essay with a cuete. I don't have to say the N-word. Shout out to the blacks, man, but I don't talk like that, and I hope they respect that, because I don't hear the blacks saying vato, essay, on everything, right, like, you know what I'm saying? Because if they did, I'll be like, what the fuck?
And the part of this whole conversation that really irked me is the fact that some of y'all think for us to be friends that you should be able to use that word. You're delusional. You're delusional, and you're using your mind. Shout out to Mariah Carey. You do not have to use that word for us to be friends. Now, I'm not a one-sided guy, and I think with logic, right? So there is accountability that we need to take as a community. Azealia Banks said this. She goes, no, everyone in the world can say and do what they want, and black people really have no reason to be upset about it as offensive, while we run around calling each other such an ugly word because we can't expand our vocabulary. If we want people to let it go, we have to do so first. African people do not use that word. Now, there's a couple lies in there. She is correct. People in the world can say and do what they want. This is freedom of speech.
People have a right to tell white people or Hispanics what they can and cannot say, and that means if a black person wants to use the N-word, that means a white person also can use the N-word, because all lives matter, not just Black Lives Matter.
Say what?
Say the word you want to say.
I'm not saying that I want to say it, I'm just saying that I can't.
Sure you can. Say it right now. I will say it with you.
Okay. We also have the right to be offended by that word if you want to and do something. One thing he said in that interview that he wasn't wrong about is what you gonna do about it.
what the fuck are you gonna do about it, you know?
One thing about me is I'm not all about violence first with taxpaying citizen. I would have said WB, and then I would have said, now what you gonna do about it?
Say it right now. I will say it with.
That's a way to handle it. She also said Africans don't use that word. That's a huge lie. But the one part that she is correct on is us using it as vocabulary. She just didn't add the other part to it because she's one of them type entertainers. The truth of the matter is, for a while, entertainment has been pushing us to use that word.
Jamie Foxx and the Django Unchained check he cash. Go see the Django Unchained and see what you think. They offered me the script. I said, any nigga that do this deserves to die. And the next thing I heard, Jamie Foxx was in makeup.
At first, it was cool, really, with us using that word like we was, because it was one of the biggest gaslight moments in history where we're saying it and not letting other people saying it.
I got a copy of the script. They gave me a copy of the script written in Spielberg's hand. The words "fuck you" appear 176 times in the script.
People have been trying to push other races to use that, and I don't think it's ever going to be universally accepted. White people want to use a word, but they don't want to use the word in a friendly manner.
What would be a case of somebody trying to sound black? Could you give an example?
You know, like, I mean, I know they don't mean any harm, but they don't realize how ignorant it is when trying to have that black voice that some whites try to do, really don't do well.
Like, why you jive turkey?
Yeah.
As long as you got that there, I don't think it'll ever be cool for another race to use that word. Because the thing is, at any moment, if you are not black, you could use that word in a negative way.
Say it right now. I will say it with you.
This really started with Richard Pryor, with him using that word. And ever since then, that word done took off.
One thing I got out of it was magic I'd like to share with you. You know, it was like I was leaving and I was sitting in the hotel and a voice said to me, he said, look around, what do you see? And I said, I see all colors of people doing everything, you know. And the voice said, do you see any niggas? And I said, no. And I said, you know why? Because there aren't any. And it hit me like a shot, man. I started crying and shit. I was sitting there, I said, yeah, I've been here 3 weeks. I haven't even said it. I haven't even thought it. And it made me say, oh my God, I've been wrong. I've been wrong. I got to regroup my shit. I mean, I said, I ain't gonna never call another black man a nigga.
When gangster music came, they went crazy with that word. But even when Richard Pryor was using it, it was more about him talking to his folks. Wasn't in a universal manner. I don't think it'll ever be accepted in a universal manner. You know why? Because at any moment, one of y'all can use it in a negative way. And it looks crazy.
Mexican OT got in an interview and said, I'm gonna continue to say the N-word. And what you gonna do about it? This is a question I always have for people that say, hey, we ain't Latino. We can continue to use racial slurs. We all one family. I want you to remember something. Why is disrespect only allowed one way? I can continue to say something even if some people disagree with it, but I'm gonna say it so I can disrespect you. But if I choose to use a racial slur towards them, it's deemed disrespectful. That is because most people view disrespect for most people one way. Meaning, I can disrespect you, but you can't disrespect me.
Look at this moment when the protesters was using that word. Remember that?
You go to cover, I'm fake, nigga. I know you do, dog. I'll spit on your plate. I'll put my on your plate, nigga. Fuck your family, fuck your kids, nigga. That's how it is. I can't sleep comfortably because of you.
He be fucking getting a whole plate. He be fucking expecting us to give us a whole shit. That nigga right there.
Do you go to cover?
Yeah, you do. Stop playing.
Ultimately, I think Mexican OT will regret this because this man is building up a pretty bad resume. I don't care who people vote for like others do, but the man is a Trump supporter.
He is a Trump supporting clown, and that explains it all. When I said Latino males are the most obedient, most submissive to white supremacy, he is the perfect example. The Mexican OT will steal everything from the black community except for courage. He will fight the black community to say the N-word, but he doesn't have the balls to fight to protect his own community.
And he's using that word. I mean, he's already getting known, and I actually think this is a little bit of rage bait that he got going on here.
He got on Instagram and posted a story that says, y'all
Trump not racist to Mexicans. He was putting every race out that is here illegally, Russian, Chinese, Black, and Mexican. And he doing that so it's fair for everyone in USA. I gotta pay taxes, but now y'all's people who here illegally for even thinking that's cool to play us like that. When Trump was president, everyone had jobs. Everyone. Black, white, Mexican, Asian. Followed by him saying, MAGA, get y'all's head out y'all's ass and stop trying to be a fucking victim.
But I think he's probably gonna put a cap on his career. I know as ratchet as BET is, I don't think they're gonna ever have him perform at BET, but I don't know, man. He might pull some strings. Like, I know for a fact he can get Snoop Dogg to vouch for him. He got the resume to get Snoop Dogg to vouch for him, even though Snoop Dogg does not have the blessings of our community. I can definitely see Snoop Dogg vouching for him. He got Sauce Walka said this.
Ooh, hey man, say man, I be trying my best to stay out of subjects like this and rant like I used to, but this one really be bothering me. Mexicans, Hispanic people, and the word, and people using the word, they're of Latin descent, specifically. Mother said, I sound dumb as hell for saying, to say that a Mexican or Hispanic person can't say, use the word in fellowship is like saying Mexicans telling us we can't eat a taco. We can't eat tacos.
So Sauce Walka has come to the defense of illegal OT by saying that Mexicans can say the N-word because black people eat tacos. Some of the dumbest shit ever. I mean, that's like me saying, you know, I like spaghetti and I like pizza. So, you know, the Italians can call me the N-word. So it's a fair exchange, you know what I'm saying? You give me some tacos, Mexicans call me N-word, you know what I'm saying? Italians give me some pizza, they can call me the N-word. Everybody, that's a fair.
The comment said, how can you compare a derogatory racial word to a food? How do you racially disrespect a white person? What do you call them? What is a food, dumbass?
Yeah, that sounds smart to stupid people. I'm just gonna be real. And it's very disingenuous. Look, don't listen to no entertainers on this topic.
First of all, Sauce Walka is not a black American. That's first of all. Sauce Walka is actually a Honduran. You know what I'm saying? He tethered off of the black American culture up there in Texas. But that's why I think it never took off for him national wide, because we knew some kind of.
I like Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar needed to sell records. I like Tupac. Tupac needed to sell records. This dude, you know damn well, is way more disrespectful words than taco. It is what it is, but I'm going to tell you like this. I'd rather be a friend than an enemy. I'd rather be an asset than an enemy. I've said that many times on this page. But my job as a black person in this country, whatever you want to label me, African American, we got different people, we got different labels. Some of us African American, some of us want to be called Black American, some of us want to be called FBA, ADOS, Black Hebrew, but it is none of our job to let y'all disrespect us. Y'all wouldn't let us come in your community and call you all kind of words, and it's not part of our job to let y'all call us hateful slurs that people have died about. I do agree at some point as a community we should back up off of that word, but you talking about a content creator. Even if all us content creators band together, it's a powerful machine that's still been pushing us to use that word. It ain't really us. They take those two-faced entertainers and they get them to use that word. So it ain't like we can't expand our vocabulary. We can expand our vocabulary. It's just we always got setbacks. Making songs, making movies. Remember Django? How many times they used that word?
The words fuck you appear 176 times in the script.
But that's what I got to say about this. Y'all let me know how you feel about this in the comment section. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our videos over here at Moxy Approved, right? With that water. I'll see y'all here next time on Moxy Approved.